Hey, beautiful people. It's your girl, Rocqi, your revolutionary hippie from LifeIsRocqi. Please subscribe and help me get monetized. I always start and oh. Welcome to another one of my Becoming a Feminine Woman series episodes. So this is my third time trying to record this episode. First time didn't save. Second time phone overheated. So we'll see how this goes, shall we? So today's show is 10 ways to practice your feminine energy. So I'm going to break it up between how I was practicing my feminine energy when I was in high school, undergrad, grad school, when I got to Oakland, and now. Okay. And I think it's important to assess you practicing your feminine energy because one, in order to have balance, we need access to both our feminine and masculine energy. We have no problem with our masculine. We're using our masculine in our education and our career. We're excelling at it. But relationships is one way where our feminine energy is practiced. And if we're not in relationships, we're not practicing it. So we need to think about other ways to practice our feminine energy because according to my other episode, men want feminine women. So if you want that high value man or any man that's masculine, you may have to consider this, okay? But anyways, it's also just balance. If you're all of one thing, you're gonna be out of balance. So being able to tap into yourself, especially as a woman as well. So I'm gonna go into my 10 ways that I practice. But yeah, if you think about it, I was single for 7 years, and that means I wasn't in relationship practice and I hadn't worked my relationship muscles for 7 years. So I was out of shape when I got in my relationship. So if you think about if you're not practicing your feminine energy, you're not getting a workout, and it's not a light switch. You can't just turn that shit on, okay? You need to practice it. It's skills, it's qualities. You have to be in a routine with them. So it's important to know how often you practice your feminine energy, and if you don't, how you can increase it. Because this is going off of the Roommates podcast when Hafiz was talking about men wanting feminine women. And I was like, yeah, we need to practice that. So, high school. I was dressing the fuck up. I had income with no bills, okay? I was dressing. To the point I was going for best dressed my senior year. However, some girl from Vegas wanted to pop up in the middle of the country and steal the spotlight, even though it was between me and my friend. But anyways, I was dressing, hair done, nails done, heels, all of it. Love it. So that's number one, how I was practicing my feminine energy is I put a lot into fashion and jewelry and dressing up. Two, I was dancing. I was on the dance and step team for all 4 years of high school. So that movement just connecting you to your feminine energy. So that's the second way that I was practicing my feminine energy. I was in the country. The town I lived in was in the country by the mountains. So we had plenty of nature. And I was very much connected to the nature, especially because it was quiet and I would ride my bike around and stuff. I was very much connected to nature out there. And later on, I did understand the need for it. So that would be my number 3. Connection to nature is another way I practice my feminine energy in high school. Number 4 would be, because I did this earlier, so I have 5 for high school. So I have dressing up, dancing, connection to nature. Number 4 is I was around babies. So my nephew was born when I was 11. My sister started at-home daycare at that point, and that was when I was in middle school. And then my mom started at-home daycare when I was in high school. So from middle school to high school, I was surrounded by babies. So that's the maternal, that's the nurturing, that's me practicing my feminine energy, okay? So number 4. And I loved it. I loved being around the babies. I loved how my mom was teaching them. I saw a different side of what you could do with children, not just play, but actually teaching them, So I love that. And I think that was definitely useful for me teaching parenting skills and me as a mother and things like that. Because remember, I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, but, yeah, I definitely love that aspect of connecting with my feminine energy. And the 5th one, so I had dressing up, nature, dancing, children. Oh, I was writing. I've been writing since I was 8 years old. That started with fiction, and then 13 I added poetry, and I was writing all of the time. I was reading all the time, and that was one of my creative expressions. So I had 5 ways I was practicing my feminine energy in high school. Okay, let's go to college. So trauma happened in my family, and I did stop writing for 2 years, and I knew some shit was bad. I knew I was disconnected from my spirit. Like, I knew shit was wrong. Like, I was aware, to the point when I took a poetry class because I was like, I gotta get out of this funk. I like writing, you know. Like, it was shit compared to where I left off with my writing skills and my talent and my gifts. But after some rough drafts, after some practice, I got back into it. I got connected with my spirit. And when you know, the first contest I entered, I won first motherfucking place. Come at you, girl. Check out my Poetry by Ashley Raquel playlist. That's my original poems. Wait for these books. It's coming. Your girl is gifted, okay? So yes, I was writing, okay, eventually in college. So number 1 way I was practicing my feminine energy in college. 2, I was dancing. I did join Majestics, shout out to Hampton University, freshman year, and Jolie Afrique my senior year. But I was also hitting them Friday parties and Saturday parties. Your girl was dancing, okay? So that would be number 2 of how I was practicing my feminine energy in college. 3 would be nature. Hampton Roads is beautiful. It's lush with vegetation. They have beaches there. It's a beautiful natural environment. And I found a nature park that I would go to regularly out there, as well as the beach. It was beautiful. So I definitely felt very connected to nature there. So that was number 3 in practicing my feminine energy in college. And then I was also dressing up. I gained the freshman 15 and went to all the right areas, okay? So your girl was looking good. I started changing, though, like high school and early college. I was more high femme, heels, tight dresses, all that. Whereas by senior year, I'm like, look, I'm dancing. I want to be comfortable, you know, so that means flats. And then I'm tired of my dress riding up when I'm dancing, so let me throw on some leggings. So my style started changing by the end, but I was still like investing into my fashion and getting my hair done, things like that. So is that 4? Writing, dancing, nature, dressing up. Yeah, that's 4. I wasn't really around children in college. I did join a mentorship group for middle and high school girls, but I wasn't around children. I think it's babies that gives me that nurturing vibe. Very much hardcore. So it went down from 5 ways to practice feminine energy in high school to 4 in college. Okay, let's go to grad school. All right. So grad school, I was in San Diego, which was a desert, and I didn't know. I thought California was green and luscious, so definitely didn't have that. I was still dressing. Yeah, I was still dressing. I was playing with style changes, but I hadn't really figured out where I was going. But I was still dressing up. I remember going to class because I was going to class so I could dress up. Let's see. However, I did... in my practicum, I worked at a childcare center, which I loved. They had infants, toddlers, preschoolers, and school age. And I could just play with the babies and again, also see that teaching. So it definitely was my nurturing quality, I guess. And yeah, I definitely love that. However, I did start dressing differently because I couldn't dress up if I'm around children. So I had to figure out basically what my mom clothes were going to be. You know, like I want to look cute but comfortable because I can't be having them stretch stuff and pulling on stuff and jewelry and all that other stuff. So I started experimenting with that, but I felt the start of my disconnect with my femininity because I couldn't dress how I wanted. But I love being around the babies. So yes. So grad school, I was dressing up and I was around children, but I did not have nature and I did not have dance. I wasn't dancing at all. Like I was working, I was in grad school, I wasn't dancing. I was writing a little bit, like I would, like, cause your girl's an artist. When we had my oral presentation assignments, you best believe I would come up with a poem using all the things that I need to and getting an A on that bitch because I'm me. Poetry by Ashley Raquel. Check me out. So yeah, I wasn't writing a little, but it wasn't that strong to like be in my artistry. Like consistently. I didn't feel like I was frequently practicing that feminine energy in that regard. And then what are the other ones? So dressing up, children, no nature, no dancing, not really writing. So I went from 5 ways to practice my feminine energy in high school to 4 ways in undergrad to 2 ways in grad school. And I was recognizing some of this. So that's when I moved to Oakland. So Oakland had more vegetation. I needed more greenery. Like I need water and green. Like I need both to feel fulfilled in my connection with nature. So that definitely was one way I practiced my feminine energy when I moved up here. I do think a car would allow me to get to more of the parks that aren't necessarily in Oakland. But I did reconnect to that. Oh, that's a little bit later. Anyways, so yes, it was definitely more than San Diego. That's what I needed. So that was one way. However, when I moved to Oakland, like I didn't even have stable housing. So, and it took me 4 years to get licensed. So I didn't have money all that time. So that meant I couldn't dress up because I couldn't go shopping. And my style had changed because that's where revolutionary hippie comes from. That was the term affectionately named by my life partner. Cause like I'm bohemian and hippie like, but I'm also pro-black and Afrocentric. So like my style now reflects that, and now I can look cute and comfy and flowy and free, but also like sexy and stuff. So I've really found my style now, but I couldn't afford it. I couldn't pay for it. So, yeah, and then yeah, it's just, I couldn't afford it. So I had the nature, but I couldn't dress up. I also couldn't take care of myself, and this is something that goes to one of the ways I practice my feminine energy later. I couldn't get my hair done. I couldn't go for massages. I couldn't get my nails done. Like I couldn't take care of myself in the ways that I usually did, and I didn't like that. Because I was still getting my hair done occasionally, but I was growing my fro out in grad school, so I was still getting it done occasionally, but I was doing it more myself. But then when in Oakland, I had locks and I just couldn't get them retwisted all the time. So yeah, I just couldn't. So, but I was with children. I started therapy with practicing play therapy. So I had 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds. Like I was seeing children. So I was in nature, and then I was around children. I wasn't really dancing. Writing was somewhat. It wasn't at all any remotely consistent, just because I was stressed and working and trying to make do, survive, you know. And then wasn't dressing up, wasn't dancing, wasn't writing. So yeah, I only had the nature and children. So it went from 5 in high school to 4 in college, 2 in grad school, to 2 in Oakland when I first moved here. Now licensed. Now I'm in a relationship. So I still have the nature. I did stop seeing children in therapy. However, now we're planning for our children. So I'm getting back into gear of being around children, just in, getting pregnant, raising our family, that kind of thing. So I will say it's coming back. It's not here yet, but I am prepping for it, which is getting me in using those skills and thinking about those things. And we're also we have a 4-year-old niece. My life partner's nephew was just born. So we have it's not as consistent as I had in my past, but it is some connection, and then we're planning. So I would give it for now. So I still have the nature. I'm going to be preparing to grow my family soon, within a couple of years. And then now I have money, so I can go shopping, and I can also, so I can finally present myself in the way that I see myself, in the way that I feel sexy, I feel comfortable, I feel confident. So I love it. And express myself, especially. Fashion is a great way of expression. I love it. And then I can also pamper myself. I can get my hair done. I haven't been doing it now, but I can get my hair done. I can get massages, things like that. That's also because I'm transitioning to happiness coaching. But yeah. And then I've started dancing. I realized that dancing is a good form of exercise for me. I enjoy it. And that movement is definitely feminine energy, right? So I definitely enjoy that. So that's 5. So A decade later, I was able to get back to my 5 ways that I was practicing my feminine energy from high school. Just to put that into perspective, it took a decade for me to get back to the amount of ways and how frequently I was able to get back to practicing my feminine energy. That decade was my masculine energy. It was me hustling in school, me working, trying to build my life that I wanted. So I was out of practice, okay? Out of fucking practice. All right, so now I'm in a relationship. So now I'm practicing those relationship muscles. Your feminine energy is definitely in the relationship. Like if your mask is in education and career, your fem is in relationship. Like that's you listening, that's you being nurturing, you offering wisdom, intuition, like being open and receptive. Is the feminine energy. Now, not to say that it's all one or another. Both and people, both and. Okay? Like you need like your feminine energy when it comes to education and career, when it comes to like working with people, group projects, team projects, like working with other people, you need that relationship energy, right? And that's feminine. Whereas your masculine energy is good in your relationships when it comes to your boundaries, voicing yourself, that kind of thing. So my relationship was a 6th way that I was practicing my feminine energy. 7th way, I had worked at Victoria's Secret for 5 years, from senior year of undergrad to Oakland. And that got me connected to women in terms of our bodies. I realized that women are very disconnected from our bodies. We weren't taught anything. We were shamed. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. But anyways, I made women feel comfortable and confident in their bodies and their breasts, whether that was the elders who've never had a right fitting bra, or the young girls who were trying to feel confident in themselves and their bodies changing, or the mothers whose breasts were drained from breastfeeding and wanted to feel comfortable and confident again. Like I was trying to make them feel better about their body, about their breasts, which made me in turn reflect and connect on mine. But then it also went to my body, connecting with my body. So now I'm focusing on the womb. I'm focused on my sacral chakra, and I'm my moon cycle and all that other stuff. I think I'm a red moon cycle. And yeah, like connecting with my body as a woman, as a cis woman, connecting with my body. So that would be 7 ways of connecting or practicing my feminine energy. 8, being in women's spaces, especially Black women's spaces. I was in one last year and it felt like I could finally let my guard down. And I realized I had never been in that kind of space to just be with other Black women, to share in our experiences and our stories and our feelings. Like that was so comforting. So that's definitely 8, my 8th way. And then I think the other 2, I started painting because I just don't write consistently just because I'm stressed. I got work, things to do. I started painting. So that's definitely been great. And let's see, was there another one? I forgot. I did this video before, but I forgot what the 10th one was. So painting was my 9th, and then 10th, let's see, connecting to my bodies, having women's spaces, being in a relationship. Can't think of it right now. I thought of it in the previous, and I gotta go because I got a session, but let me think about this so I can wrap it up. Let's see. The 10th way that I practice my feminine energy. Oh, I also started becoming a plant mama. That's another connection to nature. But the 10th way, honestly, it's just a more appreciation for me being a woman and my feminine energy, recognizing the power and investing in my home and cooking and cleaning. And like, it's just nurturing, like it's taking care of your family, you know? Like I'm definitely switching to that mode for sure, very, very hard. And it's taken me a while to accept that and appreciate it. So there's that could be the 10th one. I would say, yeah, just connecting to my spirituality as a woman, you know, in relation to my body and just how things connect on that spiritual level in the feminine energy. Yeah, I don't know. But that's all I got for now. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to know how you practice your feminine energy. How often do you practice it? Really think about these questions and come up with these, like, reflect. And I like and share. Like, I feel these conversations need to be had, and especially coming from a woman, we need to have these conversations with each other. And please subscribe. I'm trying to get this passive and residual income so I can have these babies because I'm self-employed. I don't get maternity leave. Okay. But thank you so much for listening. It's your girl, Rocqi. You have a beautiful day. Take care of you. Peace and love.